Saints fans, NFL free agency is just around the corner. And yes, the Saints might be tight on salary cap space, but nobody makes money available quite like New Orleans does. There will be moves that they make. And if you want to stay updated with what's going on around the Saints, then subscribe for free right now. You're watching New Orleans Saints Now by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey, here to break down some quarterback rumors around the New Orleans Saints. Jane Slater, friend of the show of NFL Network, tweeted this out earlier on Wednesday. In Saints news, QB. Jameis Winston still at the top of the list, the draft, and a guy like Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson, but like every team, still monitoring the legal process. And a wild card I brought up last year. Wait for it, Mitchell Trubisky. So we're going to break down all four of the QBs now linked to New Orleans on the eve-ish of NFL free agency. First, where things sit on this roster. Jameis Winston, the aforementioned Winston, is a free agent, along with Trevor Siemian. I think we know at this point, those guys ain't it. Taysom Hill is back under contract. No Sean Payton, I would guess, is still kind of heavily involved in some capacity, whether it be that kind of gadget player, special team, or maybe he gets a shot again at QB. He ain't the franchise guy. Blake Bortles is LOL, and Ian Book is a backup. That's just what he is in the NFL. Now, make no mistake, and Saints fans should know this, they're having Drew Brees for so long. QB is the most important position in the NFL. If you don't have a great QB, you're going to have a very, very difficult time having any success, let alone sustained success. It is very difficult with the way the rules are, the way the NFL is structured, to win games unless you have a franchise. You can have some success, make no mistake, the Saints did last year, but got to have the elite guy to make some real noise. So of the four QBs, we're going more in depth on these guys momentarily. Who would you pick to have as your QB this upcoming year? JW for Jameis Winston, KP for Kenny Pickett, MT for Mitchell Trubisky, or DW for Deshaun Watson. This is the pinned comments on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, I want you to take advantage of it. Head down there and pick one of those four options. Let's start with Winston, the incumbent starter, as the Saints are still interested in re-signing him and contract to be sorted out there. I think part of the allure for Winston to come to New Orleans in the first place was Sean Payton, and now, of course, Sean Payton is not there. He did flash at points last year as a starter. He's also still recovering from that torn ACL. I'd say he's good to go in time for Week 1. His touchdown-interception ratio last year, and we'll call it 6 games as a starter, we'll give him that, not the full, half game he missed against Tampa, was awesome. 14 touchdowns against just 3 interceptions. But the passing offense was different. They really dialed back Winston. They didn't let him air it out that much. He completed under 60% of his passes. His yards per attempt wasn't spectacular either. In the end, I don't believe Jameis Winston is a franchise QB. I think that we've seen him in Tampa, seen him briefly with the Saints. He's almost 30 years old now. Can he be a stopgap starter for you? Yeah, I think so. Can he be the guy that carries you to the postseason and you do some real damage with? Maybe if the supporting cast is awesome, but not a typical franchise QB like the Saints are so accustomed to. Let's go to the draft then we'll come back to free agency and the trade options. Kenny Pickett. He continues to be linked to the Saints, and I get it. I think Kenny Pickett has fairly high floor. What I mean by that is the day he enters the NFL, he's not going to be completely lost out there. And the Saints have the number 18 overall pick in round 1. I don't know if Pickett will be on the board. I do think that the recent trades for Denver and Washington to acquire QBs does make it a bit more likely these QBs could slide. In a normal draft, I don't think Kenny Pickett goes in round 1. In last year's draft, he's maybe right there with Mac Jones, best case, but I thought Mac Jones was a better player than Kenny Pickett was. I like Pickett. I have a second-round grade on him. He is my QB2 behind only Malik Willis, which is a heavy upside play. If you want a rookie to come in and be serviceable, be able to help you as your supporting cast does a lot of the heavy lifting, I think Pickett can be that guy. Incredible breakout year production-wise at Pitt after being kind of middling over his career before that. Had some nice playmakers at receiver. One guy you'll hear about his name plenty next year. The small hands are a thing. A lot of fumbles in his track record. But even though the arm's not elite, there is some Teddy Bridgewater type of game. You guys remember him? I mean, that's a decent comparison for maybe a Jared Goff level. My concern, does Kenny Pickett become a top 15 QB on his rookie contract? I'm not sure that he does. And if you're taking him in the top 20, isn't that what you want in the end? So if you want to draft a QB, and none is a perfectly valid answer here, name a QB who you guys want to take in the NFL draft. If you have one, drop a name for me in the comments. Willing to guess these names are the ones that might pop up. I think Matt Corral's a good scheme fit, especially for if the offense looks similar with Pete Carmichael in charge to what it was with Sean Payton truly in charge. Malik Willis has the upside. I kind of like Desmond Ridder more than I thought I was going to once I really dove in and studied him. Sam Howell is a Baker Mayfield type. Carson Strong's knees, a massive red flag. These guys all have varying strengths. I mean, there is some upside in this class. It's just there is no top, obvious, clear-cut franchise QB, at least prospect-wise, like there has been in the past. Now, if you love the NFL draft, then subscribe. We're going to keep you guys covered with everything going on, the news, the meetings, the rumors around the Saints as they have a top 20 pick for the first time in a long time. Got some options in this year's class, so subscribe right now. The Deshaun Watson trade rumors continue to circulate around the NFL, and the Saints linked again thanks to a mention by Jane Slater of NFL Network. The problem here is this. Number one, Watson's legal situation remains murky at best. We're getting up on his the DA's presented to the grand jury. There's the civil case as well. There's a lot going on for Deshaun Watson that makes it unclear what the legal system will result in. If there are no charges, maybe a trade goes down at that point. Because currently, it's impossible to trade for a player as talented as Deshaun Watson is with all of the off-the-field problems. You can't trade for someone who could get charged next week, could be facing jail time, could be suspended for a long time by the NFL. If things get cleared, the Saints are an obvious destination for Deshaun Watson, even without Sean Payton. I think New Orleans would be a potentially good fit for Deshaun. They have some playmakers. Alvin Kamara facing his own legal issues right now. Michael Thomas is back. There's some young pieces. Adam Troutman. The O-line has had good moments in the past. And we've seen Deshaun have success with lesser talented players around him. So if he's cleared, yeah, I think you got to. But you don't know that right now. So what do you think? Would you trade for Deshaun Watson right now? I'm not going to give you the cop-out like I've kind of been doing. Why for yes and for no? What would you guys do? For me, it's a no right now. He has to be cleared off the field. I can't bring that guy into my organization, who, by the way, maybe red flag for you, forced his way out of Houston because he didn't want to be there anymore after just signing a new deal. It's not that should be more of a red flag than I think what's been talked about because of all the off-the-field stuff there. So we'll see when, if and when that stuff gets cleared. If it does, Saints will be among many teams having interest in Deshaun Watson. Mitchell Trubisky, could he go to the New Orleans Saints? Well, let's talk about it. Trubisky listed as a dark horse for the Saints by Jane Slater, and he has been getting hyped this cycle, this free agency cycle, as a starting QB option, which I've got thoughts on that. We'll come back to it later on. I will say this. Trubisky is not a franchise QB. Look at what he did with the Chicago Bears. He was the number 2 overall pick, and the organization was like, nah, this guy ain't it. Not great 2017. Pretty middling there. 2018, okay, he flashes. 2-to-1 TD interception ratio. They make some playoff push. Guy's never thrown for 3,300 yards. He's been around at his best, a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio player. His accuracy hasn't been elite. Trubisky is not a great QB. He can move. He can compete for a top-tier backup quarterback position, but simply put, he's not a franchise guy. I don't believe that. I will come back to it, but I have a question for you guys first. Who do you want starting at QB? Let me know what QB you want to sign, trade, draft, re-sign. Let me know right now in the comments. The weirdest thing for me about the whole Trubisky conversation, we knew he wasn't a starter last year. We all agreed, not a starting QB. This is not the guy. He didn't do anything this year on the field, barely played. Now he's getting linked as this guy should start somewhere. Why? Why is his stock suddenly up? And it comes back to my theory. If you were an early round draft pick, no matter how bad your tape might be, Sam Darnold, you will get another chance in the NFL as a starter. If I'm the Saints, I don't want Trubisky. I'll go gamble on somebody else.